So my game finally started to feel like a real game. The controls were already working, the combat was also working, and the core gameplay was working. But there was still one huge missing piece that my game feels still like a prototype. And my game was in Greybox since I started this project, which was a good reason to start a project because I don't want to focus on visual until my core gameplay logic started to work. And honestly, after spending this much time on the game code logic, I was getting tired looking at gray cubes, red enemy, and a bunch of random cubes everywhere. So for this devlog, I decided to finally do something I have been avoiding for a while, and turning my Greybox environment into an actual game environment. So if you have watched my any previous develop, then you may have an idea about my game. Basically, it has just bunch of cube representing everything. So I started with probably the most important part, the floor and the walls. I wanted the environment to have an actual style instead of just looking like a Unity scene. And I don't want to make the environment so detailed that it become difficult to understand what happening. Because it's a mobile game, I also have to keep in mind the polygons of and many other optimization issues so the player can enjoy the smooth experience of my game. And if I put random objects everywhere and fill out my scene with only product on mobile on small screen, become we- it's become hard to focus on the main hero object. And my game has different themes and different zone, and each zone will have different theme. So the most basic theme is industrial, and I also have sci-fi theme, a forest theme to add in my game, and this is for mobile. I can't make the and my overall goal should that the environment should look nice, but the optimization is still on top. The optimization is the main thing I am focusing. The floor and walls is simply a plane in my game, and I applied a texture on it by using Atlas because I can't make detailed models as I discussed earlier because of polygon issues and many other. And I am using Atlas because in my scene, if I have almost 20 to 30 volts or panels, then each will use the same image. So it is optimization and will help the user to play the game smoothly. And after modeling and texturing the atlas, the next step was to set up this in Unity. And if I just set this modular floor pieces on the plain simple, then the result is not what I was imagining. So I come up with an idea. I uplifted my whole environment and supported with pillars, and with the pillars and I added smoke and glow at the bottom of the scene, and you can look at the result. This is close to what I am imagining. I move on to model my enemies for my game, and this is the first enemy in model of my look pretty cheap and simple, but I think this is good because I have not much experience in animation, and I also don't want to spend my too much time in rigging and making humanoid kind of anime. So I made this, and the other anime, this is static anime. And after a lot of moving thing around testing, creating, rebuilding, and probably spending way too much time on these things nobody will notice, I will finally reach a point where I will compare the old version with the new one. And this is the moment I was working for, because when I look at the old Grey version, it honestly feel like a completely different game. Now I'm starting to see the actual world of the game, and we are still nowhere to finish. Three D. I still need a lot of 3D models. Mm, mm, I still need a lot of 3D models, animation, UI, SFX, polishing, and ridiculous amount of time to complete this project. And the deadline is getting closer every single day. That's it for this devlog. I am going to working on the remaining. I am going to working on the environment vehicles and everything else that still need to be finished before release, and hopefully in the next devlog I will show you something interesting. And until then, keep coding and keep killing the box.